Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Well, after that last video where we went way back in time and checked out the PMDG 737-700 from all those years ago, it was great. It was a beautiful looking plane for its time, really impressive, and that was a beautiful flight. If you haven't seen that video, just go to my channel, go back one video and see that. It's called A Moment in Time. Some beautiful scenery there as we flew that 737 to Los Angeles. Today we're going back to the future. Yes, we're going back to the 737 MAX, and we're going to be doing the exact same route from Palm Springs to Los Angeles. We're going to be admiring the plane, admiring the scenery, so we can compare it directly with FSX, and we can just appreciate and realize how far the simulation world has actually traveled. How far have we advanced? In the last video, that 737 PMDG was probably at least 15 years old, and it still looks beautiful, but it's probably over 15 years old. I remember it arriving at my place on a CD. It had the Beechcraft 1900D, which I still have. It also had a 747 with it. So they still look amazing, beautiful models. But today we can just compare the scenery directly and the 737 directly with this 737 MAX. Okay, so let's get in. All the passengers are on board. We are ready to go, and we are ready for actual pushback, really. So let's get pushback and head down to the apron, and we'll be on our way. Okay, so we've done pushback. Let's go ahead and get permission to departure. Clearance for departure, clearance for taxi.
Palm Springs clearance delivery jet in Juliet India Alpha 100 IFR to Los Angeles, ready to copy. Jet in Juliet India Alpha 100 is cleared to Los Angeles Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 31 left climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure frequency is 126.7 squawk 5046.
Okay, maintain 9,000 feet.
Jet in Juliet India Alpha 100 cleared to Los
So
Angeles
we'll
Airport
set
as filed.
our autopilot to 9,000.
Maintain 9,000 feet. Departure on 126.7 squawk 5046.
Put our speed up.
Juliet India Alpha 100 readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.9 when ready to taxi. Good day.
Roger, we got that. We got that. Okay, request taxi.
Juliet India Alpha 100 with Echo ready to taxi IFR.
Let's check our waypoints. All in there.
Taxi to and hold short of runway 31 left using taxiway Bravo Whiskey Alpha. Contact tower on 119.7 when ready.
Acknowledge taxi clearance.
Taxiing hold short runway 31 left via taxiway Bravo Whiskey Alpha jet in Juliet India Alpha 100.
Okay, landing lights on. Taxi lights on. Logo lights can go on. Strobe light. Navigational lights. Beacon light we don't need. Wing lights can go on. Okay. Let's bring my throttle up a little bit. Remove the brakes, and we can taxi over to the active runway. See you later, Palm Springs. Beautiful little place. Now on my last video I flew from Palm Springs to Los Angeles with absolutely no autopilot. I manually flew the plane all the way there. I wanted to test out the flight yoke and see how difficult it is actually to fly a 737 manually from one place to the next. And it went very well. My lineup and my landing was not that good. You will see that on the video. But we got down okay. And it was a beautiful scenic flight, so go back and check that one out, the old 737-700 from PMDG. It was like a stroll down memory lane, saying hello to an old friend. The old FSX was part of our lives for 20 years, probably 15 years minimum. We were playing with that flight simulator. It's like an old friend. It's not that easy to say goodbye to it. So every so often I do like to go back and enjoy it. Okay, we'll just line up here and then we'll get clearance for takeoff. Sure, the scenery is not as so nice and the eye candy is not as nice, but the planes are still fun to fly. Okay, so we can go to tower and get permission for departure. Let's check all my control surfaces are all good. Rudders, all good. Yes, everything is good. Speed brakes, yep, all good. Okay, so let's go inside. We'll take our flaps down for departure. And I'll set my auto brake to RTO, rejected takeoff. Okay, let's get permission for departure.
Palm Springs Tower Jet in Juliet, India Alpha 100 ready for IFR departure runway tree 1 left.
Jet in Juliet, India Alpha 100 altimeter 29er, 2 wind 259er at 8. Cleared for takeoff runway tree 1 left.
Acknowledge takeoff
Cleared
clearance.
for takeoff runway tree 1 left, Jet in Juliet, India Alpha 100.
Right, I think we'll do what we did on the last video with the 737-700. We'll just fire up the throttle and do a rolling start. A beautiful rolling start. Not a very straight departure. Not a very straight departure. Never mind. Gear up.
Jet in Juliet, India Alpha 100 contact. SoCal departure on 126.7. Good day.
Head out over the wind farm here. Beautiful wind farm.
Jet in Juliet,
Acknowledge.
126.7 for Jet and Juliet India Alpha 100.
Just use my trim to try and keep my climb out around 10%. Some beautiful clouds heading up over these mountains here. Okay, flight director on, auto throttle on, LNAV on, speed mode on, altitude hold, and autopilot. Now I want to cruise at 9,000 feet. We're a little too high already, so I'm going to take that down. And the autopilot will get us back on track. Okay, this is the view that we had on the last video when we were looking at the mountains when we were in the PMDG 737. I mean, even for the age of that video, as old as it is, over 15 years old, if you go back and have a look at it, it still looks blinking good. It still looks really nice. The mountains and the hills over Palm Springs and the old FSX. You can't compare it with this Flight Sim 2020. You just can't compare it. But I just like to have a look at it sometimes, and it just reminds me and it reminds all of us how far Flight Simulator has actually come. Look at the textures on the scenery and the plane. There is no comparison. But are we still going to be flying this one 10 or 15 years later? Who knows? But FSX went a long time unchallenged. It was a beautiful flight sim. Will this one have the same amount of longevity? Will Flight Sim 2020 go for another 15 years? Who knows what will evolve over that time? But I certainly enjoy both of them. I enjoy going back to FSX just to fly those old planes and just to spend some time wallowing in history and my happy memories of the past. Sort of like a middle-life crisis when you go back to FSX. In some ways, it's like middle-aged men buying sports cars and trying to recapture that feeling of excitement and youth that they had when they were young. They feel that it went too fast, they missed out on it, so they buy a little sports car and they try and get that feeling of happiness back that they believe they felt when they were a young boy or a young person. So they go through this midlife crisis where they try to bring back that feeling of happiness and content by having a little sports car or something that makes them feel young and excited again, you know. A midlife crisis. Okay. So that's what it's like when I go back to FSX, you know. It's a midlife pilot crisis. I just want to go back and relive that feeling of adventure and happiness that I had with FSX. Pretty sad, eh? But, you know, Why not? I enjoy both simulators. Now we seem to be zigzagging a little bit over our flight plan. I've had this happen a few times, so what I do to counteract that is I generally just bring my speed down. The plane is sort of zigzagging, it's overcorrecting itself, trying to get exactly onto the line, and it's quite hard when it's moving fast. So I find if you bring the speed down, it makes it easier for the plane to correct itself and get onto the flight plan line, the line of the flight plan. We're at 9,000 feet. We're not very high. It's a very short hop actually. So I don't know if we need to be a heck of a lot higher. What are we traveling at? We're traveling way over speed. We are way over speed. The auto throttle doesn't seem to be on. So let's turn it off and on again. I find that lately now, if I adjust something or do something, I find that you need to reset the auto throttle, turn it off and turn it on again. Get my speed down before something bad happens. Going way too fast. Okay, bring the speed up again slowly. Maybe just turn the auto throttle off and on again just to make sure that it is engaged. Let's go up here. We can turn off our landing lights and our taxi lights. Strobe light can come off. Of course, the main difference between this and FSX is the eye candy, of course, the clouds and the textures. The planes, they have that real gloss and shine to them, like they have a real shiny coat of paint. Lovely and glossy and shiny, whereas the FSX, the planes did not seem to have that. Had they had that, it would have made them look so amazingly good. The hills, I find the hills and the mountains are just as nice in FSX. From a distance anyway. Close up they will be different. The ground textures are better. So it's basically just the eye candy that has changed. Flying the planes, I feel, is the same. If you have a good study level plane or a really good quality plane in FSX, the gameplay is exactly the same, and there's just as much enjoyment and fun to be had in FSX as there is in Flight Sim 2020 if you have a really good plane. It's just the eye candy that's a little bit dated. And that's about it, really. If I had an old machine that didn't run Flight Sim 2020, I would probably be quite happy just running around with FSX, and because the content is absolutely incredible as far as the range of planes and things you can download and install. The amount of content available is just absolutely amazing. Not like this one, we've got to wait and wait and wait just for a study level 737 to come out. It's been a year or 2 years already waiting. Whereas FSX, you can get pretty much anything you want straight away, really. Okay, so we're going to start our descent. We'll come down to 4,000 feet initially. It will take us a bit of time to get there. Come down nice and slow. Come down through these beautiful clouds. So is there anyone out there still flying FSX and enjoying it? Let me know in the comments. Would you like to see some more FSX videos? I enjoy them. If nobody else does, I certainly enjoy them. So there is a very good chance I will do some more FSX videos anyway. I'm getting a bit, well, not bored, I'm just getting a little bit sort of keen for something new to come along, like the PMDG 737. I'm really sort of waiting for that to give me a real boost of something to get my teeth into and to challenge me and really get me excited again. So we're just waiting for that. April, May, June, maybe June or July, that should be here. Who would know? What I've done with my flight yoke is I have set all the assignments and everything on my flight yoke. I've set everything up exactly the same in FSX as it is in Flight Sim 2020. So whether I'm flying a plane here or in FSX, all the buttons and switches and everything is identical. So for those two different 737s, the old PMDG or this one, the throttle levers, the buttons on the yoke, and everything's the same. So it's pretty easy to jump into either plane and just head off on an enjoyable little cruise. Right, we're getting close to our approach, so I think I want to be down to 3,000 feet. We're going to do an ILS approach, but I will do a manual landing course today. Start bringing my speed down. There are the runway, straight ahead actually. Get my speed down a bit better. Start bringing down some flaps. We're coming straight in. Bring my gear down. Auto throttle seems to have switched itself off again. Okay, so the auto throttle and autopilot is off. I am manually controlling now. Bring my flaps right down. Need to get my speed down a bit more. A bit offline here. It's not good.
200.
Need to try and get in the middle of the runway if I can.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, not too bad. I'm happy with that. Happy with that landing. Didn't want to come to a stop there. Didn't want to do that. That was not too good. Bring the flaps up. Yeah, so the approach was a bit dodgy, but the landing itself I think wasn't too bad. Wasn't too far off the center line. So for me, the dodgy pilot, I'll take that. I'm just a casual flyer, just a fun flyer, so never expect too much on this channel, guys, I'm afraid. I'm just here for fun and enjoyment. I'm not a study level kind of guy. I do like to improve and try and get better with my skills, but not too hung up about it. Okay, let's taxi over to parking. We'll try and find somewhere nice to park today, eh? Somewhere reasonably close to the coffee shop would be good, so I can quickly duck in and get a nice banana and chocolate chip muffin and a lovely fresh cup of coffee. Oh, that sounds good. So we'll get somewhere nice and close to the cafeteria if we can. There's a Air Canada Neo over there. Very nice. Getting all catered up, full of cakes and buns and refreshments. We're in Delta livery today, our co-alliance, Jet and Airways co-alliance with Delta. So we often fly in the Delta colours. On my last video, the PMDG 737, you'll notice, was painted with the Jet and Airways tail, which is quite attractive, and I had the name on the plane. I left the original PMG livery and splash on the side of the body in front of the fuselage. It just looks really, really cool. I wanted to pay tribute as well to the PMG 737 and all that beautiful texturing and paint scheme. So I wanted to pay. I just wanted to honour that, really, all that beautiful hard work that they did to get that looking so nice. And so I just put my logo on the tail and my name down the back, so it wasn't too intrusive. Just get a nice, slow, casual sort of taxi going here. Park over there somewhere nice, so we can disembark. Quite a nice day here in Los Angeles, a bit cloudy. Other than that, not too bad. Quite a few Air Canada Airbuses here at the moment. They must have a real push and a real promotion on at the moment, I think. Must have a real marketing promotion on at the moment. Right, I think we're going to go down here. And here we go. Welcome to Los Angeles, guys, and well, it was exactly the same route and the same flight that we did on my last video with the old 737-100. We went back in time to a moment in time 15 years ago and did that flight. And on this video we went back to the future and we flew our 737 MAX. And I'm rather impressed, very impressed with this simulator, of course. And I'm also very impressed on how well they did with FSX, because it is still very, very enjoyable. And it's not up to this standard, but it is still acceptable and still enjoyable. Okay, stay safe, guys. I will continue flying passengers from A to B for our airline, Jet and Airways. And feel free to pick an airliner of your choice and fly the same routes as me. Help me transport some of our happy customers. Stay safe, keep happy, enjoy your flying. and I'll talk to you again soon on the next video. Ciao. Oh, and hi to all the new subscribers. Cheers.